Sorry about that. Sorry about that. My computer crashed and this news just came out now, so we can go right to that. Whoever happened to join back with me, I appreciate that, and I apologize for that. Uh, my computer went wacky. Sorry about that. Now, let's just get right into the data. Let's look at it. So, okay. Now, this is interesting. We had non-farm payrolls. We expected 175. We actually missed. This is like a big miss. So usually that's bullish because you're going to cut, but now bad news is looking like bad news, right? Unemployment, oh boy, ticked up to 4.3. So staying higher for longer is now starting to affect unemployment. Okay, so this is generally bullish because, hey, the Fed's got to do something about this. But it also could send recession fears possibly into the market, where bad news is bad news. We really have to see how this shakes out. This is very interesting. A zero point 0.2 uptick in unemployment and a miss in non-farm payrolls of adding jobs. Finally, these numbers are looking more realistic, honestly. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go right to the hourly charts, and we're going to see what is going on here. Okay, hopefully this works for me. There we go. Large orders hitting tape. If you guys don't hear that. So here's an hourly chart. So the market is taking this bad news as bad news right now. Wow. Now, this is also what's going on here. Let's look at the futures, okay? Some notables here. Look at the 10-year yield at the bottom. It's down 4.43% to 3.8 yield. Okay? So this bad news right now might be thinking that, oh boy, something's broken and there could possibly be tough road ahead like recession. So now what this means is the Fed missed its chance to cut. Now we're going to cut, but now in September, do we cut more? Okay, so now what happens is something really wrong, right? So generally, the Fed only cuts when there's something broken. So right now, the market's got recession fears. Okay, look at that 10-year yield. That is a huge drop, 4.43% drop. That's a huge drop in a 10-year yield. Okay, people are buying bonds. Look at the 30-year bond, up 1.76%, 1.8. Okay, this could mean the yield curve inversion could be happening. Probably uninverting, which points sometimes to a recession. People are going to buy the long end. Okay, we'd have to see how that inversion looks now. Is it uninverting? That's a key thing to talk about. Now, gold usually is a safe haven, and it right now is looking like it is. It's up at all-time highs. It's up 1.54. People are flocking to that. Okay, so that's what's going on, and this market is taking this bad news as bad news now. Okay, it's taking it as bad news. Who knew when this was going to happen? Unemployment ticks up to 4.3. Okay, that's usually the last piece to get affected is unemployment, which signals some type of recession possibly. This doesn't mean it's happening, but that's what the market's telling us right now. Okay. So we got red across the board. Nasdaq's down 2.5%. Russell down 4.3%. 10-year yield is below 3.8 now. So this is pretty shocking. Now, I want to bring you guys over to the Nasdaq, because the Nasdaq has a monster level, and if it cuts through this, this is really, really important to look at. So I'm going to zoom out here, maybe do a 4-hour chart here in the Nasdaq. And this level here that we're about to hit right now is the largest, most amount of contracts for the last year and this year right now. Now, I talked about this before, that if the market goes down, it's most likely going to hit this. This usually doesn't get sliced through like a hot knife through butter. Okay, it usually does not. So it's very curious what happens here, because if we push through this, okay, if we push through this and hold, that is not good at all. Okay, that could be a huge flush through this like level, and it's pushing through it. Now you have a catalyst now. You have a catalyst now. Okay. This is very, very interesting here. Let's even zoom out more to like a 12-hour chart. Like I said, this level is huge. Okay, so just going through it right now, we have to see how it handles this level. Okay, you can just see now in a 12-hour how big this level is. Okay, we could even zoom in here and show you the volume here is all the way out here. Okay, huge, huge level. And the market's right there, right now. Actually, got to extend this demand zone out here. All right. So we're in a demand zone and we're hitting this huge level. We could bounce off this level. Okay. In the Nasdaq. Big, big level. Huge. Now let me explain something. Okay. Let me explain something. I'm going to make this marker a little bigger. Should I go with white? I can go with white. So this big level here, okay, this is what could happen today. We sit here, pop a little bit, and hold above it, right? We can cut through it, hold, 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 stay there. That is bearish, okay? We could also cut through it, hold, 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 and then it just bleeds out. Okay, but right now it's getting bought up a little bit, which is this is expected to bounce here. Now, below this level, you got a high volume node here, okay, and you got a swing low right here, about 174. Okay. Now I'm gonna switch off this, go back to an hourly. I just wanted to show you guys. I've been talking about that level for a long time, and now the market has come to it, and it's bouncing off it though. See, right now, this is the hourly chart. We're bouncing off that level. This is a monster. So I expect some people to take some profits right now. Okay. This is just a very interesting time right now with unemployment ticked up and they missed non-farm payrolls. 10-year yield is cratering. Okay. It's very interesting right now. So the Nasdaq's very, very at a very, very important level. Let's look at the ES. ES is in demand, hit demand zone right here. You could even zoom out a little bit on this. So today's analysis, let's go to a 4-hour chart and let's look at the ES together. Okay, so now the ES big level is 52.74. That's the most traded price of this year. You can see that right here. Okay, 52.74. Large volume node right here. High volume node. Okay, this has right here demand. We're popping out of it. Okay, and then you got a swing low right at this 52.74. So if the market really is going to get cooking, you wanted to take out this demand, and it's probably headed to 52.74 if the Nasdaq breaks that level. Okay, so with that being said, I'm going to transfer you guys over to the market profile and some longer term charts here, get a better visual on this, because this is pretty nuts right now. There's a lot going on in these markets, and we have an election coming. Okay, now the Nasdaq is starting to cut through that level. All right, so I'm going to switch you guys over. Give me a sec while I do that. I don't even know if anybody's with me because my computer crashed. Okay, now come with me, and we're going to look at the Nasdaq again on an easier way to see this. Okay, here we go. So the market is right here. You see how large that high volume node is? Candlestick is right there. Okay, like I said, the next high volume node is right here. That level is on 180.153. Okay, so that's one look at it, a different look at it. Okay, now here's the ES. You got that large 52.74 down there. Let's look at that together. So the price is right here. You can see right here is the price. And you got a couple high volume nodes here, but the big one is that 52.74, the most traded price of this year. If this really gets rolling, it's going to go there. Okay. Now, if we look at the ES right now, it popped into this demand zone. All right, it's getting a little love right there in that little demand that I popped into. This is just very, very interesting. Now the VIX is up to 21. This is going to be a very violent session today. Very violent. Wider stops, less size. Okay. Now let's look at some daily charts in the futures to give you another point of view. So here's ES futures daily chart. We're just pushing past the 100-day moving average right now. Getting a little bored here. But like I said, here's that 52.74 right here. That could be where we go. And they got that swing low right here. That could be where we stop. We could stop here because Nasdaq is at that big level. Let's look at Nasdaq just to reinforce this. Look at the Nasdaq. That's that big, big high volume node. 200-day moving average is 182.47 right here. Okay. This is really, really big. Not sure, like I said, who's with me still, but that is insanity. We finally hit back to this level. We finally hit it. Okay. The froth has been taken out, and the 200-day moving average is in sight. All right. Now we got to talk about implications in the SPY. Okay, implications in the SPY. So right now you don't see much, right? So let's just zoom back here and see big level. What's a big level? Right here, 532. 532, call it 533. That is a big level for the SPY. Okay. Currently, the market is at 533. So we are right there. 100-day moving average is at 529. So I believe the market could touch here. It could be support. That's why the market is there. Now, just normally I don't go here, but let's just look at the SPX and what level do we have there. All right, here's that level in the SPX. That level is 53.40. 53.40. Okay, 53.40 is that level in the SPX. Now, if we go to the Qs, remember that it's going to hit the most traded price in the Qs as well. Okay, so here's the Qs. Okay, this is where we bottomed out yesterday, right at the 100-day moving average. Triple bottom here. Okay, next move down, you got big time resistance here at 448, 447. Where are we now? 448.27. Also happens to be right, probably the most traded price in the Qs. Okay. Now I always do the live look. So let's go back to the live look of the ES futures. There we go. Okay. There we go. Hitting the 100-day moving average. Hitting the 100-day moving average. Okay. And here's that level right there. You got it right here. 53.89. That is, you can see the resistance, the resistance, the resistance. Can it be support? Let's look at what's happening right now. Now, if we go to the live look at the NASDAQ futures. Okay. NASDAQ futures right here. Now you can see, look to your left. See all this congestion? That's because that's that large high volume node of the year. Okay. Now, like I said, if you lose that, you come down all the way to here. 173.43. Okay. Because the structure after this, you should stop here. You should. And then you got to see what the market does. It's bouncing a little bit. Okay. It's got a little bounce to it. Okay. It's got a little bounce to it. Now, let's show you the QQQ. Let's go here. That's not one I don't have to show you. It's this one. Open this up. Go to the Qs. Okay. So here's the Qs. 438 is the most traded price of this year. Okay. 438. So a little different in the Qs, right? Right now the Qs are at 449. They are here, right there. Price is right here. So futures is a little different than the Qs. Right now we're at the most traded price in futures of the year. We're not quite there yet, and that's 438. Okay. Now, very important. Anchored VWAP for the year. Where is that? Right at 443. 443. Okay. That means that from the beginning of the year, everyone who's bought, the average buyer of the Qs is in profit. If it goes under 443, look out. Okay. And let's look at the SPY. Anchor VWAP for the year is at 513. Okay. Where are we at now here? 535. We are right here. Right now. Okay. There's a gap right there. Okay. Then, like I said, this level right here, 530, is a key level. 100-day moving average. We're right at 535. Okay. Now, we're going to look at that triple-headed monster because that is something else to look at right now. Okay, so let me go to the other chart. Let's look at that triple-headed. Oh my lord. Boy. And I talked about this. Okay, I talked about this. Let's see here. Look at the yield where it found support. Look at that. Right at this swing low. Remember I was saying that? Right at the swing low. Now yields, okay, starting to pop a little bit. But this is, wow. Okay, people are buying the longer dated bonds, driving yields down. I didn't even look at TLT what it's doing. TLT's at 97. Okay, so there's one part. Here's the next part, the dollar. What is that doing? Dollar is breaking out of this range, which is interesting. So the yields are going down, the dollar is going down. Okay, big move in the dollar. I can only think that the euro is rising. There it is. Euro's getting a big candle. Now let's see what the yen is doing. The yen is flying. Now the yen is very important. It's called the carry trade. Some people take a loan out in yen, exchange it to US currency, and then put it in our stock market or our treasuries for a higher yield. Okay? When the yen starts rising back up, that means that some of that is unwinding the carry trade, and that affects markets. Look at the yen skyrocketing. Okay? Very, very important. Now, look at this VIX. The VIX right now is at 21.13. Folks, we got fear. 30 days out of fear, expect huge swings in the market today. Huge swings in the market. Okay? Crazy. This is going to be a crazy day. Okay? This is going to be a crazy day. Wow. I'm in shock right now. What is going on, boy? It's always when you least expect it that stuff happens like this. Okay, give me a sec. We're going to go back to the market profile and volume profile. Now, this is not easy to analyze right now. It's just not. Okay? Not easy with all this stuff going on. Now, what the only thing we can talk about, not the only thing, but what I'm going to talk about is this. Okay? We hit a big level in the NASDAQ. That's either going to get a big bounce, right, where it really bounces off there. Okay? You hit demand in the ES and you popped. Okay, now this is starting to pop. I don't know. There's going to be a lot of panic today. Now, you have a big gap down. So here's yesterday. Here's yesterday's lows, yesterday's highs. Okay, midpoint of yesterday is 55.22, right by the 55.30 composite high volume node. Okay, big gaps up. So the one thing we have to look at here is 54.25. That's the overnight halfback. That's the midpoint of this overnight session. Okay, gap fill is 54.44. 54.44. It's a big session. We are also, this is the long to all this short. We are also about 90% net short in the overnight session. We also, I have to keep mentioning that, we also hit a monster level in the NASDAQ. Monster in futures. Okay? In futures. Now, the way you want to play this, it's not easy. Okay? For me, 54.25, 54.44 are key levels. 50% retracement of this move from the overnight and the gap fill. So I'm going to have my eyes on that. Okay. Now, I'm going to split this out, this profile, because that's all it is. And I want to see, there's probably new supply zones here. Let's just look at it. So here's the move. Let's see, where was the 830 move? Is probably right here. Wait a minute here. So, boom, you went up, went down. So now you came out of this area, right? Or pushing up. It's really hard. Like I said, it's very hard to plan for a day like today. But I'm going to look at, like I said, that 50% of the overnight. Okay, so you have a very balanced profile as well. So this is the things I'm looking at. Okay, it's very hard to gauge this, but what I do know is we just fell. What I do know is the 10-year yield just tanked. VIX shot up. Bonds, 30-year bonds, are being bought. When you buy 30-year bonds, people are going to safety. Okay, so that's what I do know. Now, that's what I'm saying. It's down to this gap fill, this midpoint, and how we handle the lows here. What do we do? It's kind of what I'm looking for. So, really quickly, what I'm looking for is, what do we do with this demand zone? I want to see if we come in here, how the market responds. If we do higher or low, we might get a nice pop. I'll be very cautious there. I'd have to see the internals on the market open. Okay. As far as the bear, and you can see there's volume here. The most traded price of the overnight is here. Those are most likely shorts. Okay. You got another high volume area here, which is also the midpoint. So what I'm going to look for is a pop up and see how we handle this area here, 54.25. Okay. That's one. It could fail and roll over. Now, second one, you can go into this supply right here. Also would be a gap fill. That could also gap fill. People take profits and we roll. That's what I'm looking for. Simple as that. Now, as far as the NASDAQ, remember, the NASDAQ hit such a key level. I can't tell you guys enough of how key that big level is. Okay. And I have it on the chart here. You can see it. So right here, this green box is that level. And I expected a bounce. We're getting the bounce. However, what this does with this is so key. Is so key. And it's really being patient with it. Because this market could do this, and then do this, and then do this. And it could be a bear trap. But it really, really can fake you out. So the patience is key today. This level is so big. Okay? Most traded price of this year, most traded price of a year ago from today. Very big magnet and a very big level that you should not cut through. But now we have a catalyst. So, but still, that's why it's bouncing here. In demand at the most traded price of the year in the rolling year. Okay? Same thing. Here's the midpoint, 187.45. Here's our gap fill, 188.68. Most traded price is here. Those are shorts. Okay? So I want to see what we do down here. Okay, so we get right into the scenarios. This is the most traded price of the year in the rolling year. I'm not going to say it again. What do we do here? So I want to see what we do here. If we even do this, right, and we can't find acceptance under this level, and we do this, acceptance, higher lows, I'm probably going to possibly look long and take out the overnight most traded price here and go into the supply and see if we can fill that gap. But I will be super patient for that. Today's going to have wild swings with a 21 VIX. Wild. Okay? But you have to be super patient with this. Now, bear. Okay, so what we could do as well, you don't want to go do anything with this long. You're like, I ain't getting long, right? Well, let's say we do bounce. Well, here's your first test. Most traded price of the overnight, and you got the midpoint. 50% retracement of this overnight move. Supply is right here, and you could also roll. Now, like I said, this level's so big, we might just hold here. If you break it, oh my lord, and hold, there's demands here, but my god. Okay. Second one. Push up, take that. Let's say you take out this, fill the gap. There's a supply here. Fill the gap. People, that could be a bull trap. Then all these longs from here now are going to be like, uh-oh, and we could do this. Okay? That's what I'm seeing. What a crazy morning. Oh my lord. With my computer and then like this recession fear. Okay? It's crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Before I go, okay, let's look at futures. What do we have? We have a VIX that is up 14.42% to 21. Bitcoin is up. Silver is up. Gold is up. 30-year bonds are being bought. Ether's up. And now you have a dollar, the weak dollar with the euro and the yen going rocketing. You have the Dow is down 1.07, ES down 1.6, crude down 1.82, Nasdaq's down 2.44%, and the 10-year yield was down larger before. It's pairing some of that now. Russell's down 3.63. Okay? We'll look at the Mag 7, see how they're holding up. Coinbase is like flat, AMD, and then you just got, let's just go down to the big boys, the 2%ers. Google down 2.2, GE down 2.36, Meta's down 2.4, Snow down 2.49, Tesla down 2.7, Broadcom down 3.7, Nvidia is down to 5%, 5.23, Amazon's down 9.71. Okay, now if you want to look at some top sectors, let's look at them. Notice the leaders. Procter & Gamble. That's a staple. That's a staple. PepsiCo. That's a staple. Johnson & Johnson. That's healthcare. That's safety. United Healthcare. That's safety. McDonald's. That's safety. Walmart safety. Then you got laggards here. Okay. Let's start with 2%ers here. Salesforce down 2.4, Cat down 2.72, Qualcomm down 3.04, Morgan Stanley down 3.11. And we'll knock it off here with the sectors. XLU, utilities, safety, yields go lower. People want to jump back into the dividend paying stocks, okay? Staples, real estate, healthcare, basic materials. And then you got other sectors that are not so friendly to recession fears. Okay, semiconductors are down 5%. Discretionary down 3.33. XLK Tech down 2.7. Okay, folks. Now, today is going to be wild. It's a Friday. August is showing its bearish seasonality. We have an election coming. Now, unemployment just ticked up right after FOMC. So, wow. One thing I'll do before I got to do some prep, let's go to the Fed Watch tool. I think that would be a good thing to look at and see what are they predicting now for the next meeting. Let's look at that. All right, so what are we looking at here? September It's looking at a 69.5% chance of a cut of a quarter basis point. Let's go to November. Another, looks like another quarter. But this is very interesting now. Okay? Very, very interesting. Wow. Now, I apologize earlier before for that computer malfunction. Hopefully you can see this recording. If no one joined live, they probably didn't even know I went back on. So, um, just be patient today. This is crazy. I'm gonna really, really be patient. I'm really gonna lower my size with this volatility. And I wish everybody good luck. Wish everybody to have a good weekend. And take it easy, all right? I'll see everybody Monday. This market just got nuts. Thought it was nuts already. G-Man, that might not be a bad idea. Okay. For me, today I just reduce my size and I just stay patient. Okay. And I'm just really gonna be patient. Okay, because these swings are gonna be wild. Okay. All right, everybody. I'll see you guys Monday.